Let's see if this works. Downright bizarre. Hey John, Vince. I don't know what YouTube is doing at the moment, but I actually had this stream running for a little bit before and absolutely nobody showed up. Now, I understand that it's not always everybody's favourite topic, but even the spammers didn't show up, so it was a little bit weird. I don't know whether YouTube just had a brain moment. Okay, let's get these speakers out. You can see this battery is starting to puff up and ripple pretty badly there. So let's see if we can do this without having to take anything out. Yeah, I think we can shuck this one out. Got a little bit of an indent on, a little bit of a chip out of that, but it should hopefully be okay. Hey Jason, I mean to message you today. Got to send some stuff off to you tomorrow. Just really have been dropping the ball on everything with you, Jason, and getting a bit frustrated by it, to be honest. And it doesn't help that I've decided to take on a new postal ticketing system, for the actual shipping and stuff like that. Just seems like I sort of start the day at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then before I know it, everything's shut and I'm already behind schedule again. It's just ridiculous. Hey there, Tony, Noah. Accidentally creased one of my cables when I was replacing my keyboard on MacBook Pro. I don't know how to figure out what it is so as to replace it. Maybe you need a whole new keyboard. $14 tomorrow. Right port's dead from the water. Every single one of them. You still? Are you getting iMacs or MacBooks? Like I've got a box here that is full of all the circuit boards that you sent that need to go back to you. I mean, I know a lot of them are meant to be donors, but realistically, it's just a case of there's just too many of them. And I've essentially forgotten what was donors and what was not donors. Yeah, everything is just so profoundly disorganized. Okay, I'm pushing my luck here, but only because I know the owner of the laptop. Don't do it this way normally, because you do, I would normally take the logic board out, but I'm being naughty because I'm being lazy. So I could end up shearing a connector clean off. The correct way to do this is to remove the logic board first. If you don't mind me asking, where'd you get the IPA dispenser that you're dipping your scrap? I just got that from my electronics store supplier. Element 14 is the supplier I use. But yeah, they're basically everywhere. Some of them are good, some of them are terrible. You do have to find a brand that is reputable. Most are pretty bad. Most have far too many, too much slop in them. Hey, Atrophy, Jim. Well, Vince, yeah, I mean, I don't care much for the beatings, but I probably can tolerate it a little bit. Maybe I'll like it a little bit. It's probably not a good trait to have. Yeah, the trick with this battery stuff is to try and peel it off like that without having to actually scrape it off. And then, yeah, if you can get it to come off in one piece, that's really good. I know some people do heat up the whole assembly. But you got to realize most of the time around here, the weather is more than warm enough. Hey there, Yamara. How's things going on your side of the country? Atrophy, which iPhone battery did you replace? Things like the 6, 6S, that kind of thing. Pretty much up to and including the 7s are pretty good and easy. But then when they changed over to the 8s with the glass back and the separated adhesive, it became a nuisance again. See, I used to use a scraper to get these out, but then I found just having a little bit of patience and flicking up the adhesive like that tends to help. There. iPhone 5S. That is actually... did they have the pull strips on them in the 5S? Or was that not until the 6? I can't remember. I know the 5 was more like the 4 and 4S, where it was a bit of a sideways grab, pull, as opposed to the white silicon type adhesive. I can't remember now. Hey, B-Dog. Nick, yeah, I find that the scraper is better if you can get access underneath. Like if you take the A1508, the scraper generally won't work on that, at least not initially, because they have a recessed lip all the way around, and so your scraper ends up bashing into the step, and so you have to use the waxed cord method to get them out. But for these sort of ones and a lot of the new ones, I'm finding that the scraper works better now. Oh, you still got your 5S. Oh. I've got a couple of 3GSs. I never had a 3G. I don't want a 3G. Don't ever send me a 3G. Thank you very much. It'll just go straight into the bin. Even if you're being funny, I'm still going to throw it straight into the bin because I have got far too much crap in this household. As it is at the moment, almost all the PC related jobs I am just simply shuffling off to someone else in town here. Or anything that is not pretty much this sort of work, I'm just sort of saying to the people, you know what, I just don't have the time. I would like to be able to do stuff, but there is just no time. And I really do not have the room in the workshop to handle multiple different types of things anymore. So I need to, it's essentially just Apple Gear now. Apple Gear and a bit of electronics development for me for doing things like tool making, yeah, like the USB-C meter and things like that. Outside of that, unfortunately, it gets denied now. It feels a bit bad telling people, no, look, you know what, I just can't help you, even when you know technically you can. I mean, when I say technically, I mean, you know that you can fix it, but you also know from a business perspective it will be a bad idea. I've got a machine that I'm handing back to someone, actually two machines, that has been here for about 18 months now. To be fair, they said the fatal words to me. They said, take your time, I'm in no rush. If a customer ever says that to you, you pretty much should just give it straight back to them, I'm finding. It's almost as bad as customers paying you up front. As soon as they pay you up front, you lose all incentive to do the job. Because you're like, well, I got the money. What the hell do I need to do the work for? And likewise, when people say, whenever you got a moment, take your time. Yeah, whenever you're not too busy. It's like, that's never going to happen. That's just never going to happen. I think since I started working at 16 and a half, 17, I have had only 2 holidays of 2 weeks. And one of those was forced simply because of the fact that I was expelled from South Africa. And since then, yes, and the other one, of course, was the quick little run down to Tasmania for a honeymoon. But other than that, it's just been flat out work every day of my life, pretty much. I mean, it's not 100% non-stop. There are some realities, but certainly no holidays or anything like that. And I'm also getting to the point where I'm really thinking of just not even accepting jobs from the front. Like when people turn up here and they want me to fix something up. But I do need to keep that going though, because realistically it is a reasonable percentage of my income. So I'd be an idiot to turn that kind of thing away. Yeah, things like iPhone screen repairs or iPad repairs. Hey there, Ludlow. Yeah, that's right, Arilla. Take your time and 10 years later it might be done. Oh, g'day, 3X. Domrez. I haven't seen you for a while, Domrez, but I suppose that's my fault, really, because I haven't been streaming. Hey, Kenny Wooden. And I indirectly said hello to 3X. Alright. Putting these in is a major pain in the backside, because you've got to get everything positioned without pressing anything down too much. Mother flipper. I just hope this customer is going to be happy with the service I render. And she did just cook me dinner, so I suppose I should be thankful. When that 14-inch arrived... Oh, right, the 14... Sorry, for some reason, Jason, I thought you said you had 14 of them to repair. And I was like, well, that's interesting that all 14 of them had that same fault. Right, now I understand. Okay, that's looking like it's all right. No, wrong hole. I'm still waiting for my capture card to be repaired. It's taken a little longer than I expected. I was rather anticipating that they would just simply do a swap, because I don't imagine what they'd be doing for the repair. I guess maybe there's a fault in the firmware chip that they use, and they're sending it back to the factory to actually replace that chip, in which case I wish they'd just told me and I'd replace it for them. It can be a bit frustrating when you do microelectronics repairs and you send stuff off and you know that they're going to be doing something that you pretty much could have done in 5 minutes if it was on your workshop. And I'm just going to walk away from that one, Jim. Okay. But I do need to get Elita a new laptop, and I am thinking of one of the M1 Macs. She's very happy with the Mac system, so I'm not going to move her off that. If you value your life and your relationship, you do not try and force people onto things that they don't want to be on. When you think about Lewis, he tolerated Erica using a really terrible MacBook Air for quite some time. Quite frankly, I was surprised that he didn't bump her up to a nice sort of 2013 or later A1502. Oh well. Hey Lars, hey Micro Repairs. Oh, Miles, mine didn't go back to M-Wave. Mine went straight to the domestic, what do you call it? The domestic repair agent for AJA. Some company called Blonde Robot, of all things. But anyway, yeah, so I went to them. M-Wave wasn't involved at all anywhere in it. Beedor, your wife still uses a 2012 with no problems. That's actually impressive. I find them to be a little bit unreliable. But yeah. And Miles, I don't think that M-Wave even carries them anymore. I think that's how I got mine so cheap, is that they put it on half price special, which was down like $750, down from $1,500, just to flush it out. Hey there, Stuart. You're in Perth. Ah, the good side of Australia. Let's see if we can plug this in and make sure. So 18 volts, there we go. Oh, that's good. Still bongs, still boots. Hey there, DefPom. I see you've been busy yourself doing your kind of videos, your reviews and things like that. Are you getting a lot of stuff in these days, DefPom? People asking you to now, pardon me, test out their stuff. Alrighty, so 31%. Now, let's see if this, okay, stays on 31%. Obviously I can't show you what's on her screen. She'll probably rip certain parts of my body off. I personally use a 2013 as well. I find them, perfectly fine. I'm just waiting to see if we jump up on percentage. I see we're doing 3.4 amps. That's pretty good going. So we should see 32% pretty quickly. So, Defcom, you get approached a fair bit. Just got contacted for a thermal camera. Oh, okay. I had someone email me about one of those recently, and I just said no. I just don't have the. It's not really part of my daily routine to do testing of other stuff. I mean, it's a nightmare enough as it is, just changing my postal ticketing system over. So I don't have time to deviate out from too much. The only reason I ended up doing the USB-C meter is because it is something that's been in my queue for quite some time now. And it, yeah, already had a fair bit already done for it. Okay, so we're up to 32%. The current's kind of taken a dive to 3 amps, but that might be just because this is settling down. Yeah. Alright then. Okay, well, this is a really short stream, so we're just going to leave it at that. I may come back later tonight if I'm doing another repair, though I don't actually have anything in the queue today. Postage has dried up this week, I'm not really sure why, and I don't really have anything that is fresh and new. So, yeah. How do you people with older machines get by without security updates? Well, macOS gets the security updates all the time, so it's all good there. So, okay, I'm out of here. You take care. See you next time, whenever that may be. Be it tonight, later. Then again, I might be doing 7 days. Or sometime during the weekend. Whatever it is, I'll catch you then. See you later.